Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with me. My name is Cat and Candy Doll. If you're new here, then welcome all. You might hear some noises in the background and you might hear some insanely happy laughter because I just heard now. I'm always nervous you guys are going to hear it. So anyway, I'm going to jump right into what happened. We have a lot to talk about today. I'm going to start with what I've been doing. So my shifting has been to mostly My Hero Academia. I said I would only try to shift there. However, I have been just kind of peeking into other places because it's sort of important for me to have that ability since I have the ability to see because I have sight. So when you have sight, you automatically start seeing things you might not be actually looking for. So in an effort to control that, I've been trying to peek more, which involves a lot more energy. So it's not really trying to shift there. Shifting is actually when you go there and you're actually able to physically touch things. What I'm doing is I'm kind of peeking in. I'm just able to look around and not just in other DRs or other not just your other places you want to go outside of reality, but actually you can shift here to where you can see things that are here without even entering. So there's actually a way to do that. I've discovered that, and it's a little freaky, I have to say. But at the same time, having this skill and having this ability is sure to help me in the future. And so while doing this, I've been doing a lot of like practicing this and using a lot more energy. So I've been a lot more drained. So coming to My Hero Academia, I didn't really tell Toshinori or Keigo what was going on because if I tell them what I'm doing, they're gonna. I could hear Toshinori right now just saying like, "You should be only coming to see me. You should be shifting more to see me." And our whole argument thing was already aflame last time because of what happened. So I figured just share with you guys and not them. I'm not really keeping a secret. I'm just not going to tell them. So yeah, it's kind of like that. So yeah, you guys probably read the title, so you know what it's going to be about. You know who's involved in it, and you already know what kind of video this is going to be. So before we actually begin, grab your snacks, grab your tea, your popcorn, whatever it is you do. That way you're able to sit through this cringy video because I'm gonna explain a lot of details in this video. I'm just gonna put them in there because I feel like I have been leaving a lot of things out, but now it's time for me to share them. So yes, keep that in mind. If you are trying to like shift somewhere, the difference between shifting there is actually physically going there and being able to touch things, whereas the sight is just being able to mind your mind, allow your mind to focus on this one thing in this one place. For me, it's usually a person, and that person is surrounded by a place, and you can see. And in some rare cases, they happen to see you or notice you, and they actually have a reaction, which is crazy. And I think that's the thing that freaks me out a little bit because it's sort of like they never look human either. So yeah, so I'm gonna just tell you guys what happened when I went back there. So as you guys know, I take like my 1 day a week with Frodo. And so I came back to My Hero Academia universe and I was talking to Toshinori, and Toshinori was talking to Keigo. And Toshinori kind of walked away from him and he sort of had like kind of a snicker. And I was like, what? And then he walks past me and he keeps walking. But it's like this nervous look on his face. So I go, what's going on, Toshinori? He goes, I owe nothing. I have to go to the school. I'll just meet you there for the meeting later. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I go up to Keigo and I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, are we gonna hang out later after this meeting? He goes, sure, Cotton Candy, we'll do it. Sure, we'll do it. And he kisses me on the cheek. I was like, what the heck? And he kissed me on the cheek, and he kind of like walks off with Toshinori, but they're acting kind of weird. Toshinori's looking nervous and weird, and like I'm gonna find out what Toshinori's hiding from me because I can tell he just told him something, and now he's walking away. So I start heading toward the school, and I run into Endeavor. So me and Endeavor are walking into the school, but like Toshinori and Keigo, they already went ahead of us in the school, so we're kind of walking together. And he goes, um, So let me know what decision you make about Frodo, about what we should do. Because me and Keigo had a long talk about it last night. I feel like he has the ability to overcome this, and this is something he can do on his own. And I go, Endeavor, what are you talking about? And Endeavor is like, oh, he's like, shoot. I'm like, well, you might as well tell me because he didn't say anything about it, and obviously he intends to keep whatever this is a secret. I need to know what it is, especially if it's about Frodo. Guys, I never seem to just have. I can never just have like. Can't just have like a normal. So Endeavor tells me that Frodo's reaction, his getting up, running toward us with his teeth out and all that, and trying to scare us, is because it's sort of programmed into his DNA. So he wasn't just programmed to consume humans; he was also programmed to infect us as well with the virus in his blood. The virus in his blood is also full of parasites. Those parasites also apparently make up his genetic DNA, and basically, my child is made out of this, right? And so they're considering taking these things out of his blood, but they don't know what it's going to do. And they haven't even really tested the theory about what Frodo is able to do. Is he able to overcome it, or will the parasite eventually take over his body and control him into infecting and destroying all of humanity? This is important. Okay, especially for someone like me, his mom. I need to know this stuff because I was so like disappointed. First, I was disappointed. Then I was kind of mad. I'm just like, oh, they didn't tell me. Then I was like, oh no, they didn't tell me. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to get him back because I feel like this is not something I should be kept in the dark about. It doesn't look like Toshinori knew. So it looked like Keigo knew all along. He just decided to tell Toshinori at some point. And of course, Endeavor is just, he's not going to hide anything. He's going to just tell me whatever. But apparently he thought I was in the loop already because why would they hide it from me, right? Since I'm supposed to be with him. So I'm walking into the meeting, and upon arrival, I run into Principal Nezu. And so the meeting is basically like this huge auditorium, so the seats are going back. And gosh, should I even have started here first? Or should I have told you guys? Nope, I can start here. It's okay. I'm sorry, there is so much that has happened. Frodo is always the first thing on my mind. I meant to tell you guys this after, but I'll just tell you guys first since I went ahead and started there. So the seats are kind of like their steps, they go up. And so it's almost kind of like the school benches, but there's like space underneath them, okay? And so everyone sits up, and I go all the way to the top to where Keigo is. And I go, hey, I just told Principal Nezu that I have to leave early because I have something going on. And Keigo's like, what do you have going on? I'm like, I have something I have to do. He goes, we're going to hang out together later. What about, we're supposed to. I go, yeah, I need to do something else. I can't be here. He goes, well, after this is over, we have our other meeting in the office, the smaller one. And I go, well, that's fine. That meeting's what, like 15 minutes? He goes, yeah, see, I'll stay for part of this one and then I'll leave. And so the thing about the other meeting is inside of the meeting room, there's name tags where everyone's supposed to sit. It kind of has their names. So I sit over by Keigo, but I don't sit directly next to him. And he's like, hey, Candy, I'll sit next to me. I'm like, and I just keep like looking behind me. I'm just like, he's like, Candy, I'm like, shh, it's starting. So apparently they were just talking about how like my class has helped a lot with the kids, like confidence. I've helped give them a lot of their strength back, and a lot of the kids feel really encouraged that they can really do things. So they sort of talked about me. Then they talked about the actual gym course and how they can kind of correspond that with my class. I feel like that's actually more work if I have to put that in because it's 45 minutes is a decent amount of time for the kids to not be sitting in class, have them sit in the class again, and then have them come out to do like workouts. I feel like that's too much beating up of the body. We don't want that for the kids. So I did voice my opinion there, and so they agreed that they would just keep my class as an extracurricular because it should be. It should not be considered their gym class. Okay, they have a gym teacher. So we're talking about that. Then they were talking about academics and grades, how they improve them. And then they were talking about the tutoring course. They were saying they got a new teacher to tutor the kids, and they don't know how long the kids will have to take the classes and, how, what grade level it is. Just a lot of boring technical school crap. Okay. And who was there? Gangorka was there. Oh my gosh, Gangorka is so freaking cute. I'm sorry. I love them. I love orcas. They're so cute, but he was so cute. He was sitting up there. He was sitting next to Principal Nezu. They kind of were just addressing everything, and it had all of us there. And um, I saw President Mike there. I saw who else did I see? I saw Cementos there. Fagum was there. Midnight. Mr. Aizawa. Just everybody. All the teachers in My Hero. All teachers in the school. So I'm looking at my watch, and I set like a silent timer to go off like 15 minutes before it's supposed to end. That way, when everyone gets into the other meeting, I won't be present because I actually have a plan. So we're sitting there. We actually got on an interesting conversation when it started buzzing. So I just turned off the buzzing, even though I was supposed to leave right then and there. We were talking about like nutrition and how the kids need certain type of vitamins and things in their bodies, especially in the morning. They wake up and they're so tired. And so, like what I used to do, I knew it was cheating, but when kids came to my class early, I would actually give them like blankets and cots and have them lay down and go to sleep for a few minutes and wake them up at 7 o'clock if they need to get up then, because the kids in the school get up so dang early. And I also don't know how much sleep they're getting at night. This is a really interesting topic. I really wanted to talk about it more, but then I realized like 10 minutes had gone by since my timer went off and he was getting ready to end. And I got up and I just walked out, and they were like, "Where the heck did she go?" So I'm running down the hallway because I hear like them exiting. They're getting ready to come into the meeting room, and like I kind of burst in the meeting room and I leave the door open. I wasn't even thinking, and I crawl over to where I get under the table and I crawl over to where Keigo is going to be sitting, and I just wait there. So I'm sitting down in the Indian style, waiting for him to come in, and the table isn't like close together, so I don't have to worry about hitting anyone's feet. You guys already know what I'm planning, right? If you haven't figured it out by now, you should have. You remember that thing I did with Toshinori when he had to sit there and do the ice cream? Oh yes, this is part two. It's happening again. So Keigo is sitting down. He's sitting. So Keigo is sitting down, and as soon as he sits down, I wait until Principal Nezu starts talking. Okay, now the real meeting can be addressed. We have a traitor, and there's something happening here at the school. And my hands go up, and I started touching and caressing him, and then I put my hands underneath where his butt is, kind of, and I'm rubbing there. But I'm also taking my nails and I'm kind of slowly doing this and clawing them toward the front, really gently. So basically, I can already feel him getting worked up. So then I start unbuckling his pants and pulling them down slowly. And then I see his special straw. Of course, you guys know I want to drink from it, so I put my lips over it, and I'm like, I'm like going in and out, and I'm like deep throating, and I'm licking it at the end, and I put my lips to it, and I kiss it, like I do like this to it, and I kind of moan. I go, sound like that, and he like gets bigger. Like I feel him like swell up, and so like then I stop. I stop working him through for a minute, and I start slowing down because now I'm like trying to inch him because I can tell he's getting to that point because he's starting to like get really trembly and shaky in his seat, and his seat's moving a little. And so then like Toshinori is like, "Are you okay, man?" Because he's sitting next to him, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I know he's like sweating. I know that like I know Keiko's sweating by now because he's like, I can just tell. Like, come on, people can see you and you're about to orgasm right in front of them. It's gonna be amazing. So then I start working it through my fingers and I slow down and I run my finger up his shaft like this and I kind of do this to it. And then I tease and bite at it a little. I got to do this and go. And then I keep going. So then I put my mouth back over it again. That way I can get like the special juices from his straw. And I start deep throating and kind of like licking him like his meat lollipop, just like sucking it like that. And he just explodes. He explodes. So then that's the first time he does it like in my mouth and I swallow all of it down. But then I put it back. I put the meat lollipop back in my mouth and I do this to kind of and like sort of puke a little. That way it gets like so it gets like all in like his seat. And I know he's probably has a puzzled look on his face, like what the fuck just happened? Because see, here's the thing. I made sure to drink something cold. Like right before you guys know I like to vomit, right? So, so I had something cold before that way when it came up it would be kind of cold, even though it wasn't I didn't drink it for that long, okay? It was already at the edge. I already had a drink. I already had something I was drinking before. So like you know how you're really full from it and you're at the tip of like vomiting because you had too much? When you got ready to come out, it hit my gag reflex and I went like that and kind of just let it out on him at the same time. So he was probably like, what the actual fuck? Like I could hear him saying, like, what? Kind of like that. And his clothes are soaked. His pants and stuff are soaked. So then like I take it up in my hand again and I start playing with it and now he's tender. So he's kind of like moving a little bit. It's kind of like an ouch, oh, be careful, like be gentle, kind of like that. And I'm like, oh no, I can't. So then I start going off again. I start like licking like that. And then I make the sound that, oh, like that. He can hear me. He can hear really well. So, I'm making these sounds. And so then, like, everyone's like opening like a packet, I guess, because I can hear it like flip. And he goes, God, I swear to God. I swear to God, if I catch you, I'm like, I just keep going. I just ignore him. Like, she never did the same thing. He fussed about what he's going to do later, blah, blah, blah. I'm frustrated. I'm dealing with a lot, especially because I have to deal with stuff with Frodo. Because, you decided to keep this a secret from him. His mother, okay? Like, I don't understand why I'm getting this is being kept a secret from me. So, of course, I can retaliate any way I want. Hey, I don't have any sharp knives or needles, okay? This is a pleasure torture, okay? For the second time, I feel him reaching his hand, and I start smacking it. I got he like this is like and then they go, "What was that sound?" And I stop for a second, and they're like, so then his okay, so Keigo's pants are pulled down, but they're not pulled all the way down. Okay, so they're like right at where his thighs are, like right where his just enough for me to get everything out, kind of. So yeah, his pants and stuff are wet, but the seat is more wet than he is because of everything. So I'm still like sucking, and then he reaches his hand out there and he like runs his hands through my hair, but then he's like undoing like my top, and I'm doing this trying to like he actually grabbed me, and I'm just like I can't believe he freaking reached under the table and grabbed me. Like, are you dumb? There's people here. So Toshinori goes, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Nothing. I just had a." And he does this. He takes his hands and he put them like on the table, and I hear him like flipping through the packet, and he looks at, and I guess he like looks at Toshinori. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know, but I mean that would have to be pretty awkward, right? You suddenly putting your hands on your stuff when you're drunk. You're just gonna touch yourself in the middle of a meeting. Shame on you. So I'm still playing with his meat lollipop, and he's getting ready to like come again, right? But instead of him having a huge orgasm like he thinks, I stop midway. I feel him pulsating like he's getting ready to, then I just stop. And so now he's just like gonna be hard, and he's gonna have to put on his wet panties. So, any long story short, I sit back over there. I kind of do this. I'm like, well, that was delicious. And I'm sitting there, and I hear everyone leaving, and then he's still sitting there though because he's too embarrassed to get up because obviously he wet himself. So he gets up and I hear him leave out of the room and the door closes. So I get up and I scramble like from under the meeting table and I'm like, all right, so my packet was here. So I just grab my packet and everything. And I'm like getting ready to like walk toward the door. And then Toshinori walks in and he's like, I thought you were leaving. And I go, oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot my packet. I was meaning to take it with me. He's like, how do you know we had packets? I'm like, I don't know. How would I know? How do you know anything? So he's like, something's weird. And he starts coming toward me. I'm like, nothing's weird, you know? And there's literally a window right there and it's open. I could jump out the freaking window if I want to, but I'm not going to do that. But then Keigo comes in right behind him and he's like, Cotton Candy Da, are we still going to hang out? And I go, no, I'm going home. He goes, he told you, didn't he? And I'm like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, is that why you did this to me? Just look at me. And the seat of his pants is like, it looked like he pissed himself, okay? It's literally wet all over. Almost like it's running down, kind of. And I could see him like bulging out. But apparently, I'm guessing it must be pretty empty because he doesn't care that Toshinori sees it and no one else does. You can't really see it. You can see something poking out through. Okay, he's hard, period. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to leave. And they're like, should we just let you go? You think we're just going to let you leave? So Toshinori like starts coming toward me, and so like I make my way back toward where the window is, and I go, "Hey guys, guess what? I can just jump out the window. It's no big deal." And he's like, "I can catch you before you get out the window." And then Principal Nezu walks in, and he's like, "Oh hey, Cotton Candy, though. I was gonna have one of them bring you your packet. I see you got it now." I'm like, "Yeah, I was just leaving. See you later." And I walk past all three of them, and I hear Principal Nezu still talking to Toshinori and Keigo. So that was my clean run. So then I decided to leave. Now, me and Keigo was supposed to spend the entire day together, but instead I decided to blow him off and I ended up coming back here. And then so afterwards I got home. Yes, my guide came and picked me up. I got home, you know, basically, yeah, I shifted back again. Not the same day. This was a different time because I was going to do my thing later where I peeked or whatever and use my site to like see some other stuff. Well, I shifted back there again because it was time for my class. And so I had my class and we were doing our obstacle course again. And the thing is, when you do like an obstacle course and it's the same thing, you get kind of used to it. So sometimes you have to change it up. That way your body doesn't have the same reaction. My class has really only been going around for like maybe for like 3 weeks. My class has been going on. My new class that I started training everyone. And I noticed that Bakugo is still having trouble in my class. He's having like a really hard time. And so I watched him before we got started, and he was having trouble. My thing is this: we have been doing this for 3 weeks. My class is not every day. My class is like every other day, even on weekends, like it's Saturday too. So we'll do like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday. And then next week it's the same pattern. So they do like 4 days a week, and they give their bodies one day to rest. Now on the Saturdays, they don't really have a lot of classes. It's almost like having a college. It's almost like being in a college dorm. Sort of, you have classes, and it's like you don't really have Saturday. You might have one or two or whatever. Well, my class is included in that. So there is no way a kid can train to become stronger over days at a time or even weeks and have nothing happen. Okay, that's not normal. There's no way you're training to become stronger every day and you're just so weak, you're just gonna, no matter how hard I train, I'm just never gonna become stronger. That's impossible. You'll always become stronger. I don't care how weak you think you are. That's not the way training works. You don't become weaker. Also, Mineta is doing better. How is he doing better than you, Bakugo? So I watched Bakugo before, and he seemed to be having trouble with breathing. he seemed to have trouble with endurance. His temperature was like elevated. And I said, okay, well, he needs to go to the hospital, I think, right away because it might be an emergency and it might be kind of important. But instead of telling Bakugo this, I'm going to call his mom and tell her. So I pick up the phone. I try to call his mom. She didn't answer the phone. I tried calling several times. And then, so at that point, I decided to just tell Bakugo maybe he'll be mature enough and maybe he won't be stubborn. He'll actually go to the doctor. So I talked to Bakugo and I told him, I think you need to get checked out at the hospital because I feel like you're not becoming stronger. And his response was, I am becoming stronger. I'm training as hard as I can. I can do it. Like, I don't need anyone telling me what to do. I can definitely do it. I'm strong enough. I'm strong. And I'm like, okay, well, you're not getting stronger. There's a difference between having a kid that's already, for example, like Mineta, who was doing terrible because he was like, so the finish line was here. Before, when Bakugo was at the finish line, when I called him that time, he was struggling. He got there quick, but he was struggling. Mineta was running as fast as he could, but he wasn't struggling, okay? But he also couldn't run any faster than he was running. All you can do is kind of cheer him on. But he's running full speed. I mean, you can't push him past what what he's doing, but he's not like overexerting himself either. He didn't look like he's about to pass out after either. So I mean, but then over time he got stronger as the weeks gone on. He got better at everything, at the climbing, at the duck and dodge, at like the strikes and stuff at the bag. He's been doing excellent. And Bakugo just appears to be coming weaker and weaker. So I said, if Bakugo doesn't get help by the end of the class, I'll have help a ride for him. So I told all the kids, I told them, great job in my class. I feel like you guys are doing awesome. I believe in all of you and never give up hope. Like that is my speech at the end, never give up hope because I want my kids to keep having hope in what they're doing. And it's my way of encouraging them. It's also, so all the kids are getting ready to leave. They were kind of packing up their things, and four paramedics walked in. And they said, Katsuki Bakugo? And I said, over there. And he goes, what's the meaning of this? And I go, well, I called them for you to help you get to the hospital. He's like, I don't need any help. I'm fine. They were like, well, it won't hurt us to give you like a quick little look at. Just come sit over here. So he cooperated. He sat down, but I was like, I don't know if he's really going to go to the hospital. So I called one of them over and I told him, I go, hey, he can be a little violent sometimes. I said he might not agree, so you may need to restrain him. But I also told him, don't you hurt him because he is still a child and that's child abuse if you do. And the guy kind of like rolled his eyes. And I'm like, oh, you want to, so you're going to have like an attitude or whatever. And he just like, guys, okay. He goes, Mr. Katsuki, let's go to the hospital. I think you need to go with us. He's like, I told you guys I'm doing fine. And I'm like, if he keeps giving you guys trouble, I can step in. Or I can have Toshinori just grab him, just take him there. But he's like, I was like, what do you want? Which do you want? Do you want to be taken in, or do you want to go by yourself? Are you mature enough to just go with them, or do they have to restrain you? Because they shouldn't have to do that. Mr. Aizawa can come and just wrap you up in his scarf. I mean, that's technically kind of like abuse, but I mean, you don't want him dragging. Do I have to get him to drag you to the hospital? So he's finally agreed to go with them, and he was very upset. And he went to the hospital, and then the phone rang, and then I picked it up, and it was Bakugo's mom, and I was able to tell her, I think he's just fine. She was flipping out. Oh my God, what's wrong? I just told her what happened. I just told her, just getting him checked out. I want to make sure he's okay. There's no way he should be getting weaker. Like he should be getting stronger, if anything. So, and then, so all the kids, they kind of were surprised. They were talking about Bakugo the entire time as they were leaving. Kaminari was talking about him. Take care, Shimo. I hope he's okay, man. I don't know. He's pretty tough, and I'm just like, he'll be fine. Like, he's probably just overexerted. Well, I don't know what Bakugo does at night. I don't know if he sleeps through the night or what. I don't know anything about my kids. I should know more about them. I almost feel kind of ashamed as a teacher for not knowing or recognizing the problem earlier on, because this has been going on for weeks now. I was supposed to caught this early. But like I said, if I'd have known my kids, I would have known. Because I'm going to tell you guys a little quick story. Let's go back to when I was a toddler teacher, okay? I knew all of my kids. I knew their personalities, knew what they were like. And I had this one kid who was always happy all the time. He was always smiling, no matter what. And I got him up after a nap, and I was giving them all their snack. I think it was like goldfish crackers or something like that, and like milk or juice or whatever. And he was just crying. I was singing I was singing some nursery rhymes or some. I almost said I was singing hymns, not hymns. I was singing some nursery rhymes. Yeah, I was singing like some songs, some little kid songs, some learning songs. And he was just crying the whole time. And I said, he doesn't look right. And I knew he was sick, like instantly. With Bakugo, I couldn't do that. I couldn't just be like, well, he's sick. If I'd have known him a little better, even if his mom had been there, I think if she had seen him, she would have known something's not right with my kid. I just didn't know that. So I just thought he's had a little more trouble. So I kind of feel a little bit responsible. I'm still mad about Keigo for not telling me what happened, what was going on with Frodo. We didn't even have a chance to test out this theory. From what I heard, he literally just handed him to the doctor and said, "Do your test. Leave him here. Don't let him interact with anyone." And it's kind of like all you had to do was say to Frodo, um, say to him, "Bite, doctor, lab. Do you want to go back to lab?" See if he reacts to that. See if he stops. Because honestly, if it gets that serious and you tell him that, whenever I mentioned something about that, I've tried a little test before. I've said, you want to go to the lab, you know, and Frodo just became silent. I think he remembers his traumatic stuff. So if you tell him, if you act like this, you might get sent there. Maybe he has the ability to override this or, you know, to control it. He's controlled it for so long. I think he's more than capable. But if the risk is going to keep being this big, but I just don't know with Frodo. See, that could be just his personality coming out. He could just be like a narcissist or something. I don't know. Maybe he likes scaring people, making them freak out. But we can't be too careful there. We need to make sure that these are not the parasites controlling him or affecting his body. Like we need to see exactly how much control he has over this. So that my hero can still be around for all the other kids to become heroes in. I'm so excited for the kids there. I think Manetta is doing so great. I know he's a pervert. I know other, people don't like him, but there has to be a reason that this kid is like this. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe he got deprived from. Not saying that kids should be able to see that sort of thing, see other girls, but I don't know. Maybe he was too unexposed growing up. Maybe that's what caused his pervertness. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what happened. I know this was kind of a long video, I think. I tried to keep it as short as possible. Is that really true? Maybe. I tried to add in as much detail as I could. I didn't want to be too graphic. I think meat lollipop. I think everyone knows what that is. So, um, whatever I do, whatever he does to me when I get back, like I feel like I can override that because for a good reason is that I didn't get the knowledge that I needed, and I felt like that was hidden from me. So this was your punishment. You should just accept it. Period. Like you shouldn't come back at me with any type of way. There should be no shade. I shouldn't be punished for this, and that should definitely. If I know him, he's definitely gonna try and do something because of this. And Toshinori, his whole competing with me thing. Me and him are probably like the same amount of dominance toward each other. If you want to compete with someone, compete with Keigo because he's actually more dominant than you, Toshinori. He really is. Look at all the facts. Look at his personality. He steals my underwear. Okay, the only dominant guys really do that. Really dominant people do that. Okay, he won't drug me and wait, and he won't drug me and then just like come after me while the effects are in. He waits until you're like normal, so you're like fully conscious again. And it's like, okay, now what am I going to do to you? Whereas Toshinori is just like, okay, whatever, kind of like that, And it's like he wants you to feel everything that's going to happen to you and like be conscious and remember all of it, you know. And then there's this whole, this whole power thing with him. Like he wants me to say all this stuff and acknowledge this and that and the third. And Missionary did that too a lot. But now that we've gotten closer in our relationship, even he has stopped telling me to say like daddy and say all this crazy stuff to him. Just I don't know. So anyway, yes, that's what's been going on. Also, the whole site thing, I'm still working on that. I've actually become less exhausted now. My body is starting to normalize because I think I'm getting more used to it. My skills have definitely improved a lot greater than what they were. I feel like I've really like made some progress there. So before I was really exhausted. I still am because I'm still like learning the ropes, learning how to like regenerate my energy, use it, and then regenerate it back so that I have it again instead of just being worn out. And then Kushinori and them wearing me out when I go there. It was kind of both weighing in on me, and then Frodo didn't really wear me out. Frodo isn't a Frodo was not really a good kid, but his behavior was starting to improve before this happened. I know he's not really a good baby, but he can become good. I feel like it's just we all need to, really work on it and influence him. So I really hope it's okay. You guys wish me luck. Write comments down. Tell me how you feel about this. If you have any advice you want to give me, what do you think of? What did you think of my punishment for Keigo? Do you think it's over for me? Do you think that I'll be okay? Do you think I'm in trouble? Should I hide? Will he try and kidnap me? I don't know. I don't think so because I've never seen Fox. Fox Keigo has never come here. Keigo has never come to my room and like watch him. I've never like seen him like standing over me or standing next to the bed. I have seen Toshinori do it though. I know Toshinori's figured it out, so I just don't know how good he is at it yet. I don't know if Keigo's practicing it and he's waiting to become really good at it and then just be like, bam, I'm here and just like snatch me. I don't know. But like I'm not actually yeah, he doesn't have me shook, so I'm okay. Visionary kind of has me shook a little. This is some relationship here. So. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you hated it, also don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you're notified when other videos like this one become available. Ding! And she's like, yes, I'll end the video here. I really wish I could talk longer with you guys. But I'll be doing another video really soon so we can talk again. Alright guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.